I don't know if panelists, you want to just give a quick shout out, just even if it's just your name, kind of a little bit about yourself before we get into questions, if that's okay. And if Suzette, you are on my screen first, I don't know if you want to just kind of give a little hello and shout out.
Okay, hello, I'm Suzette Amanze from Nigeria. I'm currently at the University of Hull as an international student. I'm doing my master's in business management and I have a first degree in law. So yeah.
Lovely, that's great. Danielle?
Hi, good morning, everyone. My name is Danielle Tessa. I study international business at Nottingham Trent University. I'm in my final year and I did a placement year. So I've been at uni for 4 years strong and my journey is coming to an end soon.
Well done. And Anisha?
Hi there, I'm Alicia from York St. John University. I'm currently studying politics and I'm having a lot of fun. Thank you.
I'm sure there's lots to learn in that area, I think, with everything going on right now. Okay, so thank you very much. We will just kind of start with the questions. As I say, Vivi will join us. So I think if in that, when I ask a question, we'll kind of do that order as well, Suzette, Danielle, Anisha, if that's okay. But really kind of our first question is around how are you using technology to kind of support your money management or manage your financial life? Kind of what technology do you use to help you?
So currently, I mean, I use fintech a lot to manage my money and to, for savings, for long-term goals and for short-term goals. I use bank apps, which include like not the traditional bank apps. I use like Revolut and there's one other one, Moneybox. I use that one for majorly saving. My partner and I, we put money there like monthly to, take out money, from when our money comes into like our traditional bank account, just put out money into that place. So I use fintech a lot to, kind of save money currently as a student. And yeah, I don't really have like any, normally people don't carry cash around now. So it's mostly fintech that people use to basically save money. Yeah, so I use it a lot to save money. And I also have like some in Nigeria as well. So before I came, I used to have like those ones, they're called like piggy banks. So I use them to like store money a lot. So yeah.
Would you say you use it every day? That's what say your everyday money life is it?
Yeah, I kind of use it every day because like I also use it for like my daily spendings. So I have like the traditional apps that I remove money from and I put it there like for my groceries and all that. So that's the place where I take out money from, for my daily spending. So yeah, I use it a lot because it helps me to manage, my budgeting basically. So yeah, that's why I use money for my daily spendings. So I use it every day.
Thanks, Suzette. Danielle, over to you.
In terms of using fintech with my money management, I tend to use Monzo, which is quite a more modernized bank. I like how it has the saving pots and the saving goals. I don't use fintech with my money per se all the time. So I'm a bit skeptical sometimes when it comes to fintech and money and Moneybox. I've had apps beforehand, like they used to take a certain amount each week and I used to save a lot and I really did enjoy it. But I got very kind of worried in terms of third-party apps having access to your bank account in a sense. So how I use fintech with money is in terms of doing research, credit score tools, educating myself. That's how I normally use fintech because I do put my money away and save it, but because I'm quite like controlled with money, I don't feel the need to spend it. I don't feel the need to have as many fintechs apps as I did compare when I was younger.
Yeah, that's interesting. Anisha?
I'm gonna say something a little bit weird that yes, you can manage your money online with the apps provided by your banks and whatnot, but oftentimes having money in real life physically and watching it go away can be a really good indicator. Oh, I'm spending money. It's just not a number on my phone. I tend to do that a lot. I learned that from the Blackbullion website, and I think that works really well. And the one tip I would have is that you can have some sort of online card, like you have your regular card with your bank, and you can make some more online cards. And you can use those cards when purchasing stuff from websites that you don't quite trust. And you can put a certain amount of money in these cards. So, just in case the websites aren't good, you're not losing all your money or your credit card details. Yes, that would be it. Others have said everything that I would generally advise people.
Thanks, guys. Before we get on to the next question, the wonderful Vivi is now here. I am happy to hand over to you guys. Vivi, to kind of carry on with the questions, if you're all right with that.
Thanks, Danielle. If anyone's not all right with that, just give us a thumbs down and I'll just go away. My apologies for being late. I'm in Sydney at the moment and I'm staying at a hotel and the fire alarms all just went off and I literally had to jump in an Uber and run across town, which of course shows us that the unexpected can happen and you need the $10 to be able to jump into an Uber. So I'm really excited that we're having this discussion because of course money is, as many of you know, my feelings about money is that money is about creating opportunities and creating the ability to have choice and to do what you want to do with it, as opposed to buying stuff. And my quick evac out of the hotel kind of proves that. So thank you very much for the introduction. And if anyone who doesn't know me, I'm not going to spend any time talking about that. But if you don't know me and you want to know me, feel free to send me a message. But what I'm really curious about with our fantastic students is what does being in control of your money mean to you? You've all kind of given a nice overview about kind of how you operate, but what does it mean to you to feel comfortable with your money or to feel in control of your money? And Suzette, maybe you kick us off.
Okay, so basically for me is having financial independence, being in control of my money is the fact that, if I'm broke, it's up to me. Like, I mean, it's really me who put myself in that situation. And, if I'm not struggling financially is also, credit to me and thumbs up to me. So it's basically, it's basically how, I basically work for my money and it's how I, get to save, get to, keep my get to budgets basically, and my spending generally. How am I able to manage, the money that I'm making? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm able to manage like the money and my finances generally. So it's financial independence is really how I manage my money. Like, oh, okay, like there's actually nobody else being in control or telling me, oh, you should put out this money for saving, or you have to pay for your rent, or you have to, it's basically doing everything by myself and not running out of, finance or basically. So it's
how much of that, Suzette, is about being able to say what it is that you want to do, knowing that that you're the boss? Like, how important is that in terms of your control, your feelings of control over it?
Oh yeah, it's really important because now, like I said, like there's nobody. I mean, I'm basically from Nigeria, so I can't really put a call to Nigeria to tell them, I'm out of money, because it doesn't even make any sense. Like, I'm here and I'm old enough to take care of my money, of myself. So it's knowing that I can't flop this basically, and I know that it's something that I have to be very knowledgeable, and I have to be very disciplined about basically. So it's really important for me because I'm really far away from home. So if I flop this, it's back. It gets back to me in some way. So it's really important that I know how to manage and how to manage my money very well. Yeah.
Absolutely. And Danielle, you were nodding so hard, I thought your head was going to fall off. So I'm guessing that you're agreeing with some of that. What are your thoughts about kind of what control means for you?
I feel like I was agreeing a lot to it because I have a lot of family in Ghana. So I know how difficult the market is. It's like the foreign exchange. It's so much different. Hustling is so much different. So I really related to, is it Suzette?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah.
Suzette, when she's saying that, it falls back on her, and it's so difficult from someone to now send you Naira to pounds. It's a different ballgame. So that kind of level of freedom, or like trusting yourself that you have to manage your money, will push you to motivate yourself and be better. And for me, financial freedom or having control of my money is peace of mind. And peace of mind is the most expensive thing. Like, peace of mind for me is that I'm able to control my money, know that I can do this, I can do that, and be happy and be comfortable. It may not be over the luxuries, but I don't believe in living beyond your means. Like what I have, what can I make from this, and what can I do with it, and how can I navigate it? How can I grow it? How can I appreciate it? So that's what financial control is for me. Peace of mind, basically.
I love that. We often speak of it as knowing that you can sleep well at night without worrying about money, right? It's all about the feelings and the emotions. Anisora, did you have any additional thoughts? I apologize. Did I pronounce your name correctly? I'm sorry. I missed the beginning intros.
It's fine. It's not an issue. The thing I would say is that I'm really meticulous, and I plan out how I spend everything. I write it down on an Excel spreadsheet. And similar to the speakers before, I'm an estranged student, so I'm in sort of similar boat where I don't have that backing from my parents, so I have to be meticulous. I have to plan everything, otherwise there is no safety. I will just fall straight through. I think that's why I just tend to plan everything, and that gives me the safety of knowing that, okay, nothing's gonna come on surprise. I know how much money I have to spend on food or whatnot, and how I need to plan the rest of the stuff. And that's what gives me the safety, I thought. Thank you.
No, and I think that you all three are reflecting really a lot of what we hear from students, which is the feeling of control is feeling like you can buy what you need to buy and that you're not having to worry about money. And if you guys are the future of money in this country, then in this country, then I'm feeling a lot more confident, because there's no slow flakes here. This is about control and running your life and adulting. And I think that's absolutely fantastic. So given that you all are coming from slightly different backgrounds, how prepared did you feel before you came to campus? Obviously, university being such an insanely challenging time, if you're trying to learn so many different things, how prepared did you feel, and maybe what do you wish you had known, or what did you know that you feel maybe your peers didn't know, because you all seem to be quite savvy about how you manage your money. So Alicia, why don't we start with you, and then we can go backwards. Let's do that.
I think if I were to start, I would have liked someone to tell me that the money you get it's not pocket money. It's not given to you for you to spend on hobbies or random things you want to buy on the internet. It's strictly for your rent, your food. And I think what I did is that I thought, oh, this is just cash money. I can spend it on anything in the first year. And I wish the university had given us some sort of financial lesson, like even a 1 hour talk on like, okay, this is how you spend money, this is how you structure it, you need to keep count of it. And so I could have prevented those issues from me wasting that money. I think that's the main important thing for me.
And I think that's amazing. For the amazing student staff that we have with us, who are always looking to be able to support students better, but have to tread that line between not being patronizing and not telling people things that they might already know, and not being overly harsh. Give our amazing staff here some good language of how they might say that, because they can't turn around to students and go, don't be ridiculous, you can't spend your money on Deliveroo all the time, even though we know some of them want to be saying things like that. So what's the kind of language that the staff can maybe use that would resonate well with students before they start? Putting you a bit on the spot there. Any thoughts?
I mean, I would be really, really radical in suggesting that everyone should do the Blackbullion quests and whatnot. You should go through the whole library, do every single one of them.
We did not. We did make no payments. We made no payments for this to be said. But carry on, please.
Yes, of course. But like, because it teaches you so much stuff. Obviously, everyone has a different background. Some people might already be adults coming into it, but most of us are 18-year-olds. We have never had to manage our money before, and it's really daunting having to do so many things when you don't know what you're doing. And I think completing these Blackbullion tests really helped me I actually did it towards my second semester, and then I was like, oh, okay, I'm supposed to count money. This is what interest means. A lot of people didn't know that. I think staff should be like, this is you should do this. This is recommended for you. I think that's correct language. Sort of like nudging them a little bit, but not outright saying.
That's terrific. So Suzette, why don't you give us your thoughts, and then we'll take Danielle, and then we'll look, because there's a few questions that have been submitted. So ladies, go ahead. Suzette, what are your thoughts on it?
So I mean, coming from, I'd finished my first degree in Nigeria, and I had worked for some bit before I decided to come do my master's here in the UK. So I know how to, like, I mean, I've done a bit of managing my finance, and I've been financially independent for some time, because I finished my first degree in 2016, and I've been in the professional world. So it's not something that is really strange to me. It was just different for me, because back then in Nigeria, you work for a whole month and then they pay you at the end of the month. But then coming here, you see that basically what you eat is what you work for is what you eat. Or if you stay on your bed, every day, you don't get to buy anything, you don't get to pay your rent and all that. But in Nigeria, they don't do it like the weekly payment. They do it monthly. Do you understand? So I was more used to the system back then than coming here and discovering that, as a student, I have to know how to, manage my study life as well as, my work life, so I can get like some money to, manage myself. So in your, like, relating it to your question, that would have been something that I wish somebody told me, coming here and knowing that, it's not really the same system. It's basically what you work for, that's what you get to spend, basically. So it disrupted my saving, kind of, because normally I would put out money for, when I get my salary for that month, I do, like, what Danielle said, take out, like, you just automatic saving. They take out like a bunch of money from your salary and they save it for you. But when I got here, I didn't get a job in the first month that I got here. So it was really, I couldn't think about saving at that time, because, I was just struggling to just get money to kind of pay my rent and just survive, basically. So it was until I got hold of the system that I knew that, oh, this is how it works. And so, relating it to your question, that would have been something that I would have wanted somebody to tell me that, it's not the way you have done it back then. It's quite different. The financial system is quite different here. So, yep, that's it.
Terrific. Danielle, go ahead.
I wish someone told me, and I think this is what maybe staff should say to students, not the exact words, in case they get in trouble and they come back and blame me, but it's okay. It's okay to treat yourself. It's okay to adjust your budget from what you had before. Like, it's okay. Like, I felt like I was such a rigid budgeter. I didn't think about unexpected costs or costs just to treat myself. And it made me have like not a bad relationship with money, but dislike it, because I was being so strict on myself, but not realistic. Like, I don't think it's a great idea to have a takeaway every day. Please, it's not a good idea. But to have a takeaway on a Friday night or like once every 2 weeks, it's normal, it's okay. And I didn't account for that when I was budgeting my money, or I didn't think about necessities that I was gonna have to buy surprisingly, it's not my fault. And like, that's when you can become so harsh on yourself. Like, I'm sure one time I've lost my NTU card or my student card, and now I have to pay £10. And I'm thinking, oh, I haven't budgeted for that. But things happen, and that's normal. So I feel like creating a financial plan or budgeting for unexpected things, so you have that freedom or comfortability, should be normalized. And also a discussion about how you will not be able to have the same amount of money you did before, or when you had all this free time to work all the time and balancing university. And you have to look at university in a long term, the biggest investment, a long-term investment. So even though you're struggling now and you can only afford a few luxuries, it's still meant to be an investment. Like, you're meant to see the bigger picture.
I could not agree with you more. And one of the things we are always saying to students is if you are working a part-time job, and I'm very pro doing that, if it doesn't impact on your number one priority, which is getting the best degree that you can, having the best experience that you can, and what you say, Danielle, about an emergency fund. Obviously, big fans of the old emergency fund, but you do need to have enough money to do that. And I think the points you're making are excellent. All three of you, excellent points. And to that, there is a question which says, your thoughts are all so insightful, which I have to agree with. I was wondering whether you see friends and peers who are daunted or overwhelmed by managing money, and what advice you would give them to get the feelings of control that you guys all have. So Suzette, why don't you kick us off? A tip that you would give friends or classmates about how to feel in control, because often it's an emotional thing, it's not necessarily an actual thing, right? It's a lot up here. Any thoughts about how you would help?
So generally my friends would call me like the economist, because I'm very particular about like how I spend. And I mean, if I see something that I don't want, or I don't need, not even want, if I see something that I don't need currently, I'm not buying it, no matter how pleasant or how attractive it is to me. I'm not just doing it. And there's nothing that you can say to me. I mean, when the time comes, I'll definitely go for it. But at the time that I'm like where I'm at currently, my finances do not match up, and I do not want to be financial distress, something that I can't sleep at night because I have this particular thing. Now I can't be in that position. So what I generally tell my friends is the time will come when you'll be able to, afford whatever you want, basically. Currently now, you're a student and, you're doing like part-time job, except like you said, except you don't want to get the best out of your education. You can only, I feel like, financial independence in the university has to do a lot with time management as well, because if you don't know how to manage like your studies and your part-time job in order for you to also get money, you would make a flop out of the both of them. So what I tell my friends is that, the time will come where you'll be able to buy, and you get that dream job where you can go on vacations, you can buy the luxury that you want. But as for like currently, just try to manage what you have, do like the basic. If you've put aside your savings for the month, and you paid for like the things that you have to pay for, which are like your rent and your feedings and all that, if there's still change from it, you can take care of yourself for that month, maybe satisfy your cravings for that month. But generally, don't do more than like your income. Don't let your expenses not generally be more than your income. That's my take. And I don't really fancy borrowing just to satisfy a craving or a kind of lifestyle. So that's just me. I've just learned how to manage my my lifestyle with what I have, which is almost like it relates up to contentment. You see that I'm really contented with what I have, like, and nobody can really put any pressure on me, because I'm the one working my money and I know what I'm doing. So at this point in time, like I'll live according to my income. The time will come when I'll get my dream job and I'll be fine. So yeah, that's basically
plenty of time to live big, right? Plenty of time to live big after graduation.
Exactly.
So yeah. So Suzette is all about the budgeting. We like that. Excellent. Alicia, why don't you go next? I'm mixing it up so that we're not in a particular order. So I'm trying to keep track. So go ahead. What would your advice be?
This is directly to my friend. Stop saving your money. You're in university. You don't need to save money. Like in university, I'd say instead of saving money, the best thing to do is to build a credit score. And that's why you should use your credit card. And you should, instead of saving money, just build a credit score. That's the thing you need to carry on. The money you save at university is not even comparable to someone you can save once you actually start working. And second of all, if you have extra money, please invest it in something. Invest in Dogecoin, I don't care. You need to invest your money into something. Keep it in the bank, like on 2% interest, whatever. Instead of that money sitting there doing nothing, please invest that money. Not in Dogecoin, please don't do that.
That is so interesting. So, and we are not recommending Dogecoin on this call today, people. But so really it's two pieces of advice. The one, don't save if you should be living more and doing more living on campus. And if you are going to save, then rather invest, because if you're lucky, you're getting 2%. And if you're getting 2%, I want to know where you're getting 2% in your bank account. Is that an accurate take on what you're saying? Yeah?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, great. Love that. Danielle, go ahead. Take it away.
Funny enough, what I've seen is that my friends who don't get as much loan like me budget their money better than my friends who get maximum loan or bursaries or more income or flowing from their parents, because you think you have a lot of money, but money goes so quickly. Money goes in and goes out so quickly. So I feel like my main point is don't live beyond your means, and really try and see what is your living like, and do you need this, like cut your budget according to your cord or something my mom always tells me.
Cut your cord according to your
budget. Yeah, so really see what do you need, because those with maximum, I was thinking, do you know what I'd be doing that with that, or saving it and stuff? Look at the long term, see yourself in the long term. So I feel like that's my main points.
Yeah, absolutely. Short-term versus long-term spending and saving and investing is where people get lost, right? And something we always find is that the less money people have, the better they budget, because that extra 50p in the milk actually does make a difference, and they'll know where to get it. And the more money you have, the less that 50p kind of matters. So that's very much kind of reflective of what we see. That's great. So there's another question about what advice would you give to students who are first starting out with their studies in terms of managing money? And we've kind of covered that, but is there anything that you have learned in your first few years on campus that you'd wish you'd known? So not the kind of that the systems are completely different, but like really hardcore practical, I wish I'd learned about budgeting. I wish I'd learned about debt. Apparently cryptocurrency making an appearance as we would have expected it to make today. Any particular thing that if there was one thing you could point to, that would be the thing? Or is it really budgeting and saving and debt? Anybody? Any of you three? Kick on in.
Okay, I'll go first. You should first of all try and apply to jobs that are by the university, working at the university. Those jobs are meant to fit around your studies, and there's 0-hour work contract, so it will not get into your studies when, let's say, you have exam month and you have like 4 exams a month. Then you can just not do the work. Whereas if you go with a regular work, of course, it's going to be every Saturday or Sunday, you're going to be spending at work, which means you can't socialize. Plus, usually from my experience, what I found is that it tends to be a little bit more mentally draining. Working in the service sector can be particularly horrible, dealing with customers. And working at the university sort of like avoids that, because you're working with people you see every day, you like them, they're generally pretty great people. And also it pays more than working service jobs. So please apply for these student ambassador roles, anything that you can find at the university. That would be the first thing to go for.
Should I go next?
Go ahead, Danielle.
Oh, okay. Sorry, the screen wasn't shifting. I wish, and starting off uni, I was taught more about investing, like just small amounts, because I've been working since I was 14. So if I'd started investing small bits, I would have been like, and someone educated me, I would have been more confident. Also, I personally like to work agency jobs sometimes. Actually, yeah, I work for an agency right now, especially in final year, because you can book in when you want and see what they have available for you. So I can plan like my months, because they do it a month beforehand. I can plan my month. And I also work in an environment that is not makes you happy, yes, because it's work, but it's a positive environment. It's not too emotionally draining, because I've worked in a service sector at like a forest grounds, but I've also worked warehouse, and like that's very intense labor job, and I wouldn't recommend that to a uni student. So really think about your overall mental health when it comes to picking a job. And probably my last advice is, I don't know if I can say this, but I wish, and I did this during college, that I went for a receptionist job at uni, because when you're at the desk and you're not doing anything, you're doing your uni work as well. And you could be making money by doing your uni work. So
Danielle is
my advice.
hacking her job. We love that. Good for you.
Yeah.
You can absolutely say that. I doubt you're the only person in the room who's done that. So absolutely. I love that. Good for you. Double timing. Suzette, go ahead. What are your thoughts?
So, I mean, what I would have, one thing that I would have appreciated if somebody told me, what, just like Danielle said, is basically knowing how to invest here in this place, and knowing how, like, what to invest in, basically, because it's not just to invest, it's to look out for, like, investments that are worth it in the long run, and not just train your money there and then something crashes. Because I mean, as a student and you're trying to, put in small investments here, and later you hear that, oh, this investment has crashed or something, the profit is low or something like that, just disorganizes you. And for somebody who is just learning how to, a beginner investment, it kind of I don't know if it disrupts your mindset towards investment. So it's like, asking the right questions, finding out from people who know, a lot about these things, and that would guide you, basically. Currently now, I have like investments with them crypto, but I don't have any investment here in the UK. That's because I don't know who to go. I don't know which one to invest in. It was until I got this this panel session that I started looking at it. I'm like, oh, actually, you know what? I'm actually supposed to start looking for investment that I can doing here in the UK, because as much as I want to make the best out of my studies, I also want to make the best financially, just all round. I don't want any part of my life to suffer, basically. So another thing that I would say, in order to achieve like all these long-term financial goals and financial freedom, is to just know how to plan your life, basically. Look for best offers, look for best discounts as students, discount codes, secondhand purchase, and all that. Like, and we've said before, don't live above your means and income, basically. Yeah.
Danielle, did you want to add something? Go ahead.
Yeah. What I wanted to add is that I had a teacher in actually first year. Yeah. So I'm happy I had him in first year. He used to remind us how much we were paying for our degree by seminar, by hour, by minute. And I was like, oh my God, you're giving me a headache. But I appreciate him, because he but encouraged us to make the most of all the university resources and be positive and really make the most out of your money. So anything that the uni has that you might be interested in, it, go for it. If it's not for you, it's not for you. You've learned something about yourself. Anything about like what Ansa was saying, sorry if I pronounced your name wrong, in terms of opportunity, student ambassador and roles, the uni thrives off students. They thrive off these opportunities. So really make the most of it. So we're talking about the value of money, and also the value of yourself. So make sure you're upskilling yourself and valuing every penny you've put into this investment.
That's fantastic advice. And I'm sure that for the staff on the call, that's really nice language as well, right? The idea of investing in yourself. University isn't just about, the individual lectures or any individual experiences, about bringing the whole thing together and getting the most value out of the time. What I'm really interested in is that all three of you have now mentioned investment. And it kind of gets me thinking, obviously investing on campus means you've got a bit of extra money, but it sounds like actually you want to learn about investing for beyond graduation, making university kind of not just traditional university, get your degree, learn something, but actually preparing you for adult life and becoming independent. And I just wonder if you guys have any kind of thoughts on that, because that's my takeaway from the way that you're speaking about kind of the investments and the jobs that university can do in order to better support you. Would that be an accurate take on what you've said? And anyone, feel free to jump in. I mean, I can point, but.
For me, I would really appreciate it if the university did talk to us about investing and teach us. I'm only learning now because I actively chose to do a module called investment portfolio. So beforehand, I didn't invest any of my money. I think when I was younger, I used to invest in like Crowdcube, and you'd give like £10 to a business and fund it. I didn't know the key term for that was venture capitalism or angel investing. I just thought, oh, here's an opportunity, because a YouTuber that I watched was talking about how she did it. So I really want the university to explain that to us, because I'm only learning now, or getting interested in it, actually how to do it, because I actively chose to take a module. And I was thinking this module should be compulsory. And I think my interest for finance is just, it's beyond me personally. It's also, I'm interested in finance as a career, because I'm interested in asset management and wealth management. And I feel like if I had learned earlier about personal investing, it would have given me an advantage when looking into an industry or finding that career option early. Because I think I only found out what asset management or wealth management was only in second year, because I went to a spring day. But I would have appreciated it more knowing these key figures and knowing about key methods or strategies of how to invest your money.
Go ahead, Suzette.
Okay, I'll go first. Sorry, someone asked in the chat about investing in a cryptocurrency and do we recommend it or not. Of course, universities really don't seem to have caught up with the cryptocurrency development and whatnot. In regards to investing in cryptocurrency, I have experience in it and I have made a decent amount of money on it. But the thing is that if you want to get started in that, you need a solid understanding of IT, and then you need to understand how the stock market works or how regular investing works in the stock market. And then you need to understand how cryptocurrencies work, how each of the different currencies, what their mechanisms are and why they're good. And then once you have an understanding of how everything works, then you should invest into cryptocurrency. I think otherwise it's going into Dogecoin because Elon Musk says so. It's a very dumb idea, and you can lose a lot more money in cryptocurrency than you can through stock investing, because there's no law. The government is not going to protect you. Like, let's look at insider trading, for example. In cryptocurrency, it's very prevalent. Every currency makers, every developer team who makes these currencies and writes the code for these, they're involved in insider trading, which would, in real law, would be illegal, but in crypto isn't. It's sort of like the Wild West. You go in there knowing what you're doing, and you have a plan to get out, you're gonna make money. But if you don't know what you're doing, you're gonna lose everything. So take it at your own risk, you know?
Yeah, that's very solid advice. We are at Blackbullion quite concerned about the level of crypto kind of investing, and I use the term kind of loosely. So I would definitely echo that. Be very, very, very careful when it comes to cryptocurrency. Suzette, you were nodding along with the ideas of universities doing investment, teaching, education. Go ahead.
Okay, the thing is, the truth is not every student, like Anisha mentioned one time, not every student will still be interested in investing or budgeting or saving. So I don't know if it's something that, I don't know if to make it like, probably a seminar or something. If you're interested, I mean, you can get more information from here or this, this office or this group of people. But I think it's something that students will really appreciate. I, for one, if I see like, if I know like somebody or maybe a seminar that's coming up regarding financing and budgeting and investing your money, it's something that I'll sign up to, because like I said, I want to make the most out of, my time as a student and, come out with the best grades and also, come out with more knowledge about managing my finance and all. So if the university can, if it's like seminars, short-term workshops, or, just push out general information there on tips or things that you can do basically in order to know more about investment, know more about shares. It doesn't have to be only cryptocurrency. There's shares, there's bonds, there's you can buy shares, you can do other things. But like I said, is knowing the right thing to do as a student, and who is really there to give us information like that in the university, except you go to like an accounting department, and they might not really give you the information that you want to know because it's not in line with their modules or something like that. So if we have like, if it's something that the university can probably even, I don't know if it's possible, but like partner with like this companies who wants to sell shares, and even if it's like £20, just so you have that sense of, I'm doing something with my money, or, I have to be responsible. I'm financially independent now, and I have to know how to not flop it or manage my, money very well. And in the long run, if it's something that they can do, if it's like a trial encouragement where you see like, oh, at the end of your university, you see that, oh, you probably have that money has increased like by a certain level of amount, it encourages you. Do you understand? When you leave the university, you always give credit like to them for exposing you to that kind of information and, that sort of thing. So it's really something that maybe the universities in general should look into, even if it's not something they can do because it's not in line with their like what they're doing. They can't set up like a group of people, or it doesn't have to be a seminar, but you can get more information from these people basically. So I just feel like it's something that universities should look into, as much as you're promoting part-time jobs, or or you can you're promoting the fact that you can work as a student and you have these opportunities. I mean, you can as well promote in the long term what you can do with your money. Teach people how to, you're coming to, this is what you should do, because the truth is some people are coming as first year students. That's the first introduction they have as into financial freedom. They literally don't know anything concerning money management and anything apart from their parents and they're still to an extent they're still under their parents. Do you understand? So if you start building like this culture in them, they become responsible with their finances. Yep.
Absolutely, Suzette. Absolutely, and of course, we work at Blackbullion. We work with 50 different universities across the UK, and we run a lot of webinars on investing. So I want to just pull one of the things that you said in terms of, you said that universities should tell students, and I know every staff member is going, but how? So how can the university make sure that the word is spreading throughout campus? What are the ways in which the university can let you know about all the amazing stuff? Because I'm guessing there's a lot of stuff that happens on campuses that students don't know about because there is such an information overload. And I can see that Angela is like busting to say something. So go ahead. Why don't you start? What channels can they use?
Yes. So I work as a student ambassador, and my job is to inform students of these events going on. And I am the connection between the university department and the students, and I have to tell students about this going on. So I have experience with a lot of events that the department tend to organize, and from my experience, the ones that work are small run events, but very visible with very bright colors in campus, in person. So there's a stall near this popular walkway where people walk between lectures. All right, so you could have student ambassadors there promoting this event. So we're having this webinar, this talk show host is going to come and tell us about, let's say, investing. And then you need these student ambassadors, and you need to send them out and say, oh, okay, go tell students about this. And you're surprised the amount of students are like, oh, I didn't know this existed. I'm like, well, now you do. Please feel free to come along. And they do come along, and you see a huge difference in the events that we just promote online and versus the ones that we are physically there in person, asking people, come inside, take a look. These are the things we have available for you. I think students, the people who are proactive, they are going to be proactive. They already know everything I'm talking about. The people who don't, they need more encouragement, and you need to literally drag them inside.
So work more closely with student ambassadors, yeah? Work more closely with student ambassadors. Fantastic. And Danny, oh, sorry, go ahead.
Work more closely. And make sure to make these events very simple and straightforward in how
it
they
easy.
work. Do not make it
Make it
overcomplicated. There's no reason for that. Yes.
Love it. Love it. Danielle, any thoughts?
You know what I've actually noticed? One of my seminar teachers, because he's the head of our course, so it's a little bit interchangeable. So on online engagements or school module lectures, on each of the slides at the end, and even at the end of every lecture, he goes through all the opportunities. And I noticed, do you know what, that's actually really like smart. I feel like he only does it because obviously his roles are kind of intertwined, so it clashes. But at the end of every sustainable tourism lecture, he will then go through opportunities for this week, this, opportunities for this month, this. And because I'm part of my course society, he will even go as far as be like, oh, does anyone from this society have anything to say? And then we would come on the mic if we do have something to say. So giving that opportunity at the end, and it's when you go back on the slide, the opportunities are still there. So yeah, I feel like teachers being involved.
So working more closely with academic staff, really.
Yeah. So having
very
all
good
of them at the end, like a summary. And like even on those summaries, there's like QR codes. So say I'm watching an online engagement from my laptop and I see this opportunity. I just have to get my phone and just scan it, and then it just comes straight up.
Sounds like Danielle has some very good lecturers who are being very creative with stuff. Fantastic. And I can see Rachel Loftus madly scribbling away some ideas, which is fantastic. Excellent. Rachel, you're one of the few faces that I can see. Most people are black screens. So that's fantastic advice, Danielle. And Suzette, why don't you wrap us up with this? And then we're going to do rapid fire because there's about 6 or 7 questions that we need to get through quite quickly. So Suzette, what are your thoughts in terms of how can the university reach students well?
Okay. I think what Anisha said is to, make it really creative and attractive, because you're obviously trying to get across to students who have no clue about these things. So don't make it too complicated. Another way you can actually do it is to probably to get more engagement is to, I do advertising and marketing. So it's to, maybe create a buzz around it where you have like this content is out in the street, word of mouth, people talking about it just before like the seminar or whatever, not in a boring way, not, you just send out mails and we're going to have this seminar. People are struggling with their education or their studies, and you're coming to talk about money. I don't even have the money. But then if you do it in an interesting way, probably, catchy titles, catchy banners and all those things, it would attract students. I know how many things I sign up for, whether or not I attend it. Just the fact that I would gain more information, knowledge from it is, immediately I see it, I'm like, I'm signing up, whether or not I send them a message and I'm like, oh, I can't be part of it anymore. I sign up initially because it's like, oh, this would expose me to more, this will expose me. And I think there are a couple of us like out there who are interested in knowing this thing. So if you make it catchy and interesting and, do it in such a way that students also get to participate and, ask questions, not just somebody coming to give them a rundown of, all these things, I think people would, be engaged. And just like he said, students, lecturers, I'm also part of course reps, I'm a student ambassador. So word of mouth from students also get to students quickly, do you understand? So it reaches like students quickly, and they're like, oh, sign up, I think it'll be great, that kind of thing. Or probably if you want to run like a contest, just something to catch students' attention. If that's the goal of the organization, the truth is you'll be able to go as far as you can, to get to what you want to get to, which is like impacting students with, how to manage money and all.
Fantastic. Thank you. All right. We've got a few quick fire questions. So quick responses, and we're going to do it in order through A, D, S by going with your first name. So we're going to do it that way around. On my screen, you're that way around. So quick fire questions. When do you feel is best to start thinking about preparing for the costs of university? Should advice and support be targeted at college age, 16 to 18-year-olds, or slightly younger, 14 to 16?
Okay, so I think at 6th form, you should be targeting academic independence, learning without you having your teachers tell you what to do. You should be going out actively reading, doing homework, preparing for assignments, because that's what you're going to have to do in university. No one tells you that there's an essay coming out. You have to be proactive about that. I think that's the skill you learn at 6th form. And then when you're going into university, just the summer before, I'd recommend you practice learning how to cook by yourself. That's something a lot of students don't know. Learning how to manage your money, like give yourself little stipends per month, like pretend you're paying rent to your parents. So like practice living as an adult. That summer is very important. It's the free time you have, last free time you have to practice these things before you have to put it out in real life. I'd say it's definitely advice for students 16 is.
Fantastic. Danielle, slightly older or slightly younger?
Okay. I would like to say 18 and have children, like not kids, young adults like last longer, but I don't think that's the case. At 18, I feel like they should be talking about, as soon as they finish exams, maybe saving for university or saving for your next steps, because some people just go into normal jobs and normal just working life or apprenticeships, and they need to know how to budget their money. But I do feel like really and truly young people are aware from 16. Being an NCS mentor, I think I spent a good, when we were talking about community action, and a lot of young people talking about, I'm so stressed, I'm so worried. And this is just 16-year-olds about how I'm going to pay for this, how am I going to get to college? And because I'm based in London, this is when TFL said, no, like this age group is now going to start paying for the bus. And they were like, I got a bike. They started getting creative with money. And I think they're aware from much younger than you think. So I think 15, 16 is the best way forward. And from before that, they should just start planting little seeds, like things like how to grow a pound and stuff, just basics, nothing too overwhelming.
Start earlier, absolutely. Suzette, thoughts? Earlier or younger? Earlier or later?
So I also am a mentor for Brightside University, and based off interactions with the students, I think later 15 to 18 is the best time to, start talking about money, just because if you do it when they're much younger, they'll probably like not understand so much of what you're trying to say. And 15 to 18 is when they're getting closer to going to when they actually gain like financial freedom. Yeah.
Yeah. So make it real when it starts to be real for them, really.
Yeah.
Do you think that your university is doing enough to educate students around money and to support them, especially when students might face exceptional circumstances with their money? And again, we'll go ADS because it's just easier. Is the university doing enough? Go ahead.
I think York St. John is definitely doing enough. They have a student support fund you can go to if you just completely run out for some reason due to unexpected circumstances. They will help you. I think what they could do more is sort of just push financial education behind, let's say, payment, because the university gives us £100 bursary at the start of each academic year. So you could maybe lock that payment behind, okay, you have to do these Blackbullion quests, otherwise you're not getting this bursary. I think that could really incentivize students to, okay, I have to learn about financial freedom now.
Great idea. Love that. We can certainly help with that. So we like things like that. Danielle, go ahead. What are your thoughts?
I think my university is doing enough or quite a bit, but my problem is nobody knows about it. A lot of students don't know about it. I only knew about it when I was in a critical financial position of financial pain. And I was like, listen, I don't know what to do. Like, I don't know where to go. Like, this is my last resort. And I feel like it shouldn't have to get to that point, because the position I was in was so very difficult to maneuver. It shouldn't have to get to that point where I'm so distressed about it. I feel like they need to really market it more. Even Blackbullion, I only knew about it because I had to go through saving tactics or saving modules to get a grant. But then when I clicked on your site the other day and I was talking to Rihanna on the team, she was like, oh, there's about 84 videos. There's some videos about investing, And I was like, I don't know about this. I don't know anything about this. And it's kind of it feels like a secret that nobody knows. And we
want to be the worst. We want to be the worst kept secret, not the best kept secret. We want to be the worst kept secret. Okay, so they're doing enough, but we're just potentially not knowing enough, not knowing that it's there enough.
Yeah, students don't know it's there. When I tell students, oh, there's a grant you can go for, this to go for, they're like, where? Send. I literally have to go out and send the actual link before they find it.
Right, so we're all going to have to work harder to make sure that we're much more visible. Fantastic advice. Thank you, Suzette. Thoughts, university?
think they're doing, but I don't think it's enough. I don't think people know about, if they're doing anything, I don't even think people know about it at all. I know one time they were in the library, you know, they said they were supporting student finance, but I heard about it and, you know, it was not intriguing in any way because there'd been no promotions regarding that. Like, I just feel like people don't know about it. And like I said, it's the way you push out something that people are interested in. You know, like I said, I don't even know who to go to meet if I have like information or like I'm stressed or there's a mitigating circumstance that I need somebody to talk to me about. So I don't think they're really doing enough. Since I came, I haven't like, I don't know like that they've promoted like any webinar or something that students can actually come listen to or ask questions. And this is my first time, you know, hearing about Blackbullion. I've not even heard about you guys before. And, you know, I just saw it and I was like, oh, okay, there's something like this. And, you know, that's why I said, you know, it sparked my curiosity into like investment because I've almost done a whole year and, you know, I've not heard about anything like this. So I don't think they're doing so much to, or if they're doing like Dan said, we don't know about it basically.
Alrighty, well, lots for everybody to think about there.